gorgeous souls, it's Mary from PsychicSoulmateReading.com. Today's our weekly reading for January 16th to January 23rd. And the way the law of attraction works, the message is meant for you no matter what time you are watching this. Perhaps maybe it's like 5 years from the date that I just mentioned. The reading, the message is meant for you. And the way it works is like a forecast, like a weather forecast. And what Spirit is telling you, the influences, what I'm facilitating, the message from Spirit for you about what's going on, the influences that are surrounding you, and how you can make the choices and work with it to bring it to your highest good, okay? So the cards that I'm working with today, I just got them. They're called the Star Tarot. If you can see that, it's very bright in my studio light. And I just love them because they have everything in them. They have angels, they have animals, they have fairies, they have unicorns. I just love them. I should have done an unboxing to show you what they look like. Maybe later. Maybe I'll do a review on them soon. So before I begin, I'm going to just say, call on to a higher power, call on to God, call on to Jesus, the Ascended Masters, angels. Give us a message for our highest good for everybody that is viewing this. Okay, shuffle. And cut them in 3. Okay, we got the 2 of Pentacles, Hierophant, 4 of Pentacles, and the Magician. Okay. So the 2 of Pentacles is the first card, and as you can see, the 2 of Pentacles, it's just 2 stars, and 2 stars being balanced on something. It's a pretty design, actually. And what the 2 of Pentacles represents is balancing 2 worlds at one time, balancing 2 situations at one time, holding on to 2 things at one time. So there's 2 things that you're weighing. You've got 2 things going on. You got to make a choice. You got to take the action towards it. You can't drive on both sides of the road, is what I'm trying to say. And that's what Spirit is trying to tell you. You got to make a choice. And you got to stick by it. You know, like sometimes when we have so many options, we tend to be like, oh, there's so many options, I don't know what to choose. Well, you know what? Just go with it. Pick. Even if you have to just, close your eyes and say, okay, I'm going to pick that. Okay, write it up. Write some notes on and just pick it. If you have to do that, do it. I usually use a pendulum, and I'll show you in another video of how I work with pendulums, because pendulums are really good ways of choosing when you got 2 things at one time and you're trying to figure something out. For me, that's what I work with. Anyways, you can also use a necklace. You can take necklace off, and you can use, I mean, those are tools that you can work with. You can also just close your eyes and just pick. Anyways, I am just giving you an example of something else. But next video, in the future videos, I will show you how to pick 2 things or situations like that when you're trying to, like, that's how I choose my crystals. So what I'm saying about the 2 of Pentacles is balancing 2 things at one time. You might be overworked as well. You might be doing too many things at one time. You might be just feeling like overstressed, and it's also multitasking. Put it down, because multitasking is nice. Some of us have become like masters at it. I know I have, but it's not good, because you're doing one thing, but yet your mind is another place. It's not good, because you're actually doing a disadvantage for yourself. You're not focusing. You're actually stressing yourself out. Why put yourself through that? It might be a good time to start some kind of meditation practice. That's one of the I highly recommend that. And I'm not just saying just meditate for now. I'm saying maybe it's time for you just to settle down and just focus. And it's just telling you to do that. Set intentions. New Year's just passed, and a lot of us have set New Year's resolutions, and by this time a lot of us are not following through on them. So it's not about New Year's resolution, making New Year's resolutions. It's about setting intentions, because you're not always going to start it right then and then at that time. Give yourself a little bit of a breather space. Make a plan about it, strategize it. It's also good to write it down and put it into like a planner and do some goal settings. Set intentions, because those are 2 different things. Making resolutions, New Year's resolutions, and setting intentions are 2 different things. So you need to just focus on one of the things and just like what steps do you need to take with that? I know that's coming a lot. There's a lot of information with the Two of Pentacles, but I can go on and on because I'm picking up on so many energies of what's going on, because I can just feel like so much energy, just so much, like there's so much stuff going around right now, and there's shifts happening, changes are taking place. The second card we got is the Hierophant, and the Hierophant is a spiritual card. Actually, the Hierophant is, it's a card of learning. It's a card of receiving messages. It's a card of intuition. And it's also a card of learning too. So like I said, it's a learning card. So, but it's like learning about yourself. And also there's a bear here and I see a bull here. So usually bears represent hibernation and they're healing. They're healers. So it's about taking the time for yourself a little bit. And like I was talking about the meditation practice, give yourself a little bit of a like space. Give yourself some space here, because you might have been doing a little too much, and now you need to just take it one step at a time, focus on yourself, and not be so concerned about trying to do all these things at one time. Learn, going within. I'm just looking at the cards. See, I look at all the symbols that are on here. I never read, like, I've studied books. Yes, I've studied tarot. I've been doing it practically all my life. But you know what? You get more messages when you stare into the card. And when I'm looking into this, I see lots of messages, intuition, messages coming through. As you can see, there's message. Oh, the light is so bright. I'm sorry about that. There's stars coming through his crown chakra, which is receiving like the aha moments and receiving just awareness, like just being enlightened in some way. And he's getting those messages, but he has to go within, and he needs to take the steps to do that, and he needs to learn. So it's about studying. Like if you can, like read, pick up a book, do some reading, do some studying, do some like. And if you're one of those, I hear this a lot of times. If you're, oh, I don't have time to read books. Yes, you do. You're watching this video, you got time. I mean, it's like you got time. We only, I know there's only so many hours in the day. I grant you that, yes. But you do have the time. You can take a book and just read just a paragraph every so often, whenever you get the time. You'd be surprised how you're exercising your brain, you're exercising your data. We crave information, we crave these things, we need those things. And if we don't educate ourselves, then we're never going to advance. We're always going to be scattered. I know you have time to look at your phone, you have time to go on the computer, you have time. Take the time to read a book. You know, even if you're not reading a book, maybe if you're not a book reader, like I know I hear this all the time, that's fine. Watch an informative video, okay? Watch tutorials. Watch something that can educate yourself on the self. You know, find something that can expand your mind, is what I'm trying to say, okay? So it's very important that you just take that time for yourself to do that, okay? Third card, sorry. 4 cards came out here. I was guided by 4 cards. Usually I do 3 cards. I was told to do 4. So we got the 4 of Pentacles also, and the 4 of Pentacles. Oh, it's so bright. Sorry, you can't see it. Maybe if I turn my light off, you can. But I'm not going to turn my light off because it'll be too dark in here. The 4 of Pentacles is what I see is I see a beautiful swan. And a beautiful swan that is in between. Oh, you can't see it. But it's just a swan that is in between, or like sort of like on a window, a stone window. There's a dragonfly. This represents taking the time to get out of your shell. You need to get out. You need to get out more. You need to play more. It represents to get out of your comfort zone and fly to new heights, let go, be adventurous. You know, don't be afraid to get out more, right? It also relates to something that you feel that you're supposed to be doing, obligation, and holding on to something that you think that you need to hold on to. Well, it's really time to let go of that. old thinking pattern. I know that we tend to hold on to things, and I'm one of those people too, but you need to let go. You need to expand your wings and just fly and let free, because the more you hold back, you're actually limiting yourself from what you could be doing, because you can be doing so much. You can be opening doors. Things can happen, right? And it also relates to that there could be like a lot of people around you that are making you feel like that, because a lot of times we have people around us that make us feel like almost like we have to hide, or we have to close our energies off, or we just feel a bit fearful. And that is, I call those psychic vampires. And we can encounter with lots of them, and you have to look at what your emotions are telling you when you're around those people. Okay, so like I know I'm rambling on, but I'm getting so many messages that like one of the situations that you're going through is that why you're feeling so like closed in sometimes is because other people have a way of making you feel uncomfortable. You know, like there is that, and that energy can sometimes make you feel like that. Well, what you need to do is change a channel, turn your thinking to elsewhere, raise your vibration, get out of that. And even with relationships too, we can love somebody, and you know what, even if they are a bit draining and they are a bit of a vampire, you still can love that person. You still can love that person from afar, because that person sometimes will take your energy, and you know, like it's almost like they'll sort of drain you. There's a lot of things that you can do to better yourself, like put a bulletproof vest, I call it, or some kind of protection layer to make sure that a loved one that you love doesn't interfere, even if you're trying to move on from somebody, but you can't because you feel that person's energy, or maybe you can't move on because you keep thinking about that person and you know that person is very toxic. So it's like, how do you, and you feel like you're obsessed with that person, and how do you let go of that? Well, it has a lot to do, it's a reality check. I'm trying to let you know that. And so it's a wake-up call to tell you that this is psychic vampire energy, and they're draining your energy. This person is, and it happens to the best of us. And it doesn't mean that you're weak or that you're not good or you did anything wrong, but you need to get out of the denial state and see that, but also at the same time acknowledge the love that you feel and love yourself. Okay, so that's not always the case, but the energy, it could be something that's relating to in between you and that person. Perhaps maybe you love somebody and you're not with that person because another person there's a third party influence, who is the vampire. There's a lot of factors that need to be addressed here, but this is the influences that I'm telling you. If your concerns are with soulmates and twin flame energy, that is what that message is telling you, is that you have to just look at that there's some kind of psychic vampire energy that's surrounding that person, you, or something. There's something that's going on. And also with finances, what this is also telling you too is not be afraid. Don't be afraid. That you need to trust that everything is by divine timing, and that things are going to get better financially, because it means that you have to not have poverty. Let go of the poverty thinking, because sometimes we tend to attract poverty thinking. We are reasons to not have any money, or those feelings of I don't have any money, or I don't have enough. But you do. You always will have enough. Yes. And this also relates to, it doesn't tell you to go out and to get more in debt and start spending money. No. It's to change your thinking, to say, you know what, I can have the best, I can have everything. It's just, I have to open my mind. You know, you got your life, you got your health, you got everything that you need right then at this moment. And if you are having any health issues, well then it's telling you that you need to start doing something about yourself. Start doing something to upper your health, to upgrade yourself. I'm talking about like exercise, drinking more water, cleaning your diet, whatever that means to you. This is all about just changing the way that you have been doing things all along, so you can feel better. Because if we don't have our health, what do we have? It's a fact. Okay, so I got a lot of messages from that. Okay, and so now the fourth card, which I was drawn to pull, is the Magician. And the Magician is one of my favorite cards. It's manifestation. It's relating to attracting all the positive energies from above and bringing them towards you, bringing all of those things inside, bringing the divine energy within you, because we are all coming from this. We are all from the same source. You know, we all come from the same, and we are all connected spiritually. You know that we are not. None of us are separate. But sometimes we feel that we are separate. When you put yourself to say, oh, that person's special, I'm special, that person's special, you're actually separating yourself from that person, because we are all special, we are all different, but we are all connected. And you have to start believing that, and putting the ego down and just looking at the true sense of how we're all connected. Because when you do that, because when you put somebody higher than yourself, you actually are setting yourself for major disappointment, because that person will disappoint you for those expectations. Everybody's like that. No matter how much we try not to, we tend to do that. Like, we are all connected, and when somebody disappoints us they didn't do it the way we wanted it to, the way we wanted them to behave, we tend to feel like really hurt, and we feel like, what did I do wrong? But actually, it's only because we're separated mentally. It's the ego. So when you separate yourself, then you are putting yourself out for major hurt, or disappointment. Just be aware. Just be conscious of it. I'm not saying you can love somebody and put them up there, but yet you have to know that we're all equal. Okay, don't ever put anybody above or lower. We're all the same. Even though there's some people that you dislike. It's people in higher places, you know, and when you can look at that person and say, oh, I can't stand that person. Oh, I can't, you know what? You're actually working your way up to a major disappointment by doing that, because it's better to just look at the person as equal and say, okay, well, you know what? I don't affiliate what they say, and you know what? I just turn the channel. Just don't put those energies out there, because when you put those energies out there, you're only attracting that towards you, circumstances that will happen that will make you feel disappointed. And I'm talking about people in higher places, and you know what I'm talking about. Like, whatever comes to your mind, that is what I'm talking about. Yeah, so what I like to do all the time is I like to work with essential oils before I go out. And even before I did this reading, I put 2 of my favorite oils on. I put rose oil by doTERRA, and I put frankincense. Okay, so rose oil is a really good oil for your skin, because I've been suffering with dry hands. I also have rose by doTERRA. I don't know if you can, no, I can't show you, but anyways, rose by doTERRA hand lotion and rose oil, and I have to say, it's made my hands so silky soft. So beautiful. Who don't love roses? So rose oil is really good for the skin, and it's also really good for psychic energy and protection. So it really helps to channel energies from the divine. And a rose is a very sacred flower, and it's very beautiful. It's a rose of love, right? And then there's frankincense, and that is from, I think, frankincense comes from trees, I'm not sure. Anyways, frankincense is a really good oil for cleansing. It is a very spiritual grounding oil. It helps us to connect to our higher power as well. And it's very sacred, it's very purifying, it's very cleansing. I love, love, love frankincense, and I'm always diffusing it in my diffuser here. And I get so many messages when I work with frankincense and rose together. I get so many messages from spirit, and you know, so that's why I put it on. And so what I do is let me show you. I put rose in one hand, and I put frankincense in the other. And this is, the roller bottles have fractionated coconut oil, so they're not 100%, but they are very pure. When I say 100%, I mean because it's very expensive. So it's diluted a little bit, but it's beautiful. It smells amazing. And then what I do is I rub my hands together, and then I just take a few inhales over my mouth, and oh, that's just heavenly. And then do it again. And it's amazing how it just works. It just works on the energy, changes the whole aura, changes the chakras. It cleanses the chakras, that changes the chakras. It cleanses is what I meant to say. And it really helps with energy work that I do. And if you're interested in learning more about doTERRA, just shoot me an email and I can give you more info. So, you know, I think Dave has a message for us. I'm just getting that message when I just put these oils on. So I'm just gonna go get a chair and see if he's available. I'll be right back. Okay, so I managed to get Dave. Okay, hon, you gotta get a little bit closer into the... There he is.
Sorry.
Okay, so I got Dave here. So these are the cards. I don't know if you have a message.
About what?
About our week or whenever.
I was just thinking that, have you ever noticed that it takes no effort to be? Because we're always thinking, I mean, there is effort in the world. We have to do this, we have to accomplish that, we have to go buy groceries, shovel the snow. It all takes effort. But if you're quiet just for a moment, just right now, experiment with this. Just close your eyes and take a breath. Notice that you're able to observe your thoughts. And if you've ever meditated, you know what I mean. Even if not, just notice you can observe your thoughts. And the part of you that's observing your thoughts is a deeper part of you. And notice that it doesn't take any effort to be.
Yeah.
I don't know if that made sense to you or not. Hopefully it did. It's difficult sometimes to explain things using words. That's why there are so many in certain parts of spiritual circles. There's so many different words for different things, chakras and this and that and this. It goes on and on and on. They're just words describing things that we experience as spiritual beings within ourselves, and then we try to explain that. Anyways.
Well, that's amazing. Hey, that's a message. I would like to maybe do an and do with the singing bowl, work with the singing bowl. I think that's, I don't know, I just got that message. I put rose and frankincense on and I just got this amazing energies. Sure. And I don't know if you can smell it in the room. Can you smell it?
Yeah, it smells nice.
Yeah.
Lovely, the rose.
Yeah, see,
smell it.
I put the oils on and the people that are around me can smell it and get the message, and you help yourself if you want.
Was I supposed to look at the cards?
If you want. I mean, if you got
well, I see the Magician, and the Magician is definitely just about tapping into that part of you that does take no effort, that is beyond or deeper than your everyday mind, that who you think you are. I've got to do this, I've got to do that, oh, I should do this, oh, I didn't do that, oh. Like that stuff that's going on all the time, that's not the real you. There's a deeper part of you, and the Magician is, that's why if you can meditate or do yoga or take a walk in nature, that Mary's always saying these things, just to find that gap or that space around the thoughts and not get too wrapped up in them, and it'll help. It helps us all.
Yeah.
I'm teaching myself too. No,
we always have to hear it. We have to, this is important because we forget, like it's, I don't know if you've ever seen that movie, 50 First Dates with Drew Barrymore and Adam Sandler. She had brain damage, she had a big accident, and every day she was reminded of her day, and she had a whole life. I'm not gonna spoil the picture if you've never seen it, but see that movie. But we are like that. We have to remember and keep reminding ourselves. Sometimes we're saying the same stuff over and over, but we have to, because it's just, we have to keep reminding ourselves. And if we don't, then we're just gonna end up go on the deep end.
We fall asleep.
We wake up.
We fall asleep.
Right. Our minds reset, and we have to do that for ourselves. It's you know, and you need to do the same. Like spread your light with other people, right? Spread your word, what you learned from us, and tell other people that they need to do the same. And it's like a domino effect. Why don't we enlighten the world? That's my hope, is to heal the world. I can only do it one person at a time. That's my goal. So anyways, here's my singing bowl, and this is the Om. We're gonna do an Om. chant together. And the singing bowl is really cleansing. It's a cleansing energy, and what it does is it raises the vibration. So you can listen or you can say it with us. Okay, so I'm just going to start it. That was beautiful. And you know, you can do this every morning. You can just do a round of Om. I usually do 3 rounds of Om, and it's really good to do it in the morning because it resets the whole energy system within yourself, and it clears your throat. Dave probably has a lot to say about the Om.
Oh,
I want to share.
Really? I think what you said was great.
No, but you know some other things about it. Like maybe you can.
Not really. I just know that it helps us to let go, and letting go is really what
That's
the
right.
spiritual path is all about. It's everything. We're already perfect and whole. We are love. We are the things that we're looking for in the world. We already are those things. The love, the joy, the happiness. And the more we can just let go of things that come up, the clouds that cover, the layers of conditioning and the things that cover over that love that we are. And Om helps with that. So it's all about letting go of layers, and we've got so many layers. The more we can let go, the more naturally and spontaneously we can align ourselves with our highest good.
Totally.
And we don't have to figure it out.
Totally. It's just about, like I said, we're all connected and we're all made out of pure love. And if we can just remember that and just keep telling ourselves like we're all connected, and just allow and just surrender, that's what it's all about. And you would be amazed how much of a freer, happier, more joyous life that you can have just by letting go and just being in the moment.
Letting go doesn't mean not taking action. It doesn't mean not standing up for yourself. It's in not trying to control things that already are. This moment already is. And when we resist this moment, we're trying to control it or change it.
Yeah.
Or trying to control the outcome. Let's say you set an intention, but part of you is like, oh, it better work out like that, which may seem normal, but that's what we need to work at, letting go and trusting and having faith in the highest good. We're not separate from life. We're not separate from the universe.
Right.
It's all one, really.
That's
it
right.
appears separate, but it's all one. And the more we can feel that, the more naturally we can trust, and the more faith we can have, and the more beauty. And it doesn't mean everything's going to be perfect necessarily, but even when there's bumps in the road, you'll be able to, they won't feel so bumpy, and more of your good will come to you.
Yeah. Well, I hope that this reading was helpful, this talk was helpful for you. If you need any more assistance or would like to learn more about getting a personalized reading, please visit my website, psychicsoulmatereading.com, and subscribe to my YouTube channel and hit the notifications so you can get when I post a video, you will get the notification, the email, and right into your inbox. So that's all you need to do. Just subscribe now, and wishing you all the joy, peace, blessings, all the love. Take care of yourself. Namaste.